What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sons of Sever YouTube channel, where there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad gear. My name is Eric. Today my brother Chris and I are reviewing the brand new Lems Primal 3. Now, something kind of cool that's happening with the channel today. If you've ever heard of ROSE ANVIL and his YouTube channel, today they dropped their video of the Lems Primal 3, of them cutting it in half and showing you just how this thing is built. We were given an amazing opportunity to cameo on that video, so we would definitely encourage you to go and watch his channel. We love the way that he cuts open all of these shoes and really shows you how they're built and if they're durable or not, and if they're even worth the money that they cost. So go and check out that video. You'll get to see us do our little cameo on it. And yeah, we're just grateful for that opportunity. It's a pretty cool thing. In other exciting news, we just passed 2,000 subscribers on the channel, something that we're super stoked about. We're excited for the continued growth that we've had, and to celebrate that growth, we are going to have a giveaway. So stay tuned to the end of the video. Chris has the details on that giveaway, and I'm going to pass it over to him now to start us off with the things that he likes about the Lems Primal 3.
I want to kick off my likes of the Primal 3 by talking about the toe box. Lems has 3 categories of their toe boxes. They have medium, wide, and widest. This is in the widest category, and I love Lems' widest last. It's going to be subjective, different from person to person, but I find that this toe box is plenty wide for me. I have relatively wide feet and a wide toe splay. It's getting wider and wider as I continue to use toe spacers and exercise my toes, but I think this toe box is going to work well for most people. I'd really love to see Lems' other 2 lasts go the way of the Dodo. I think they should just make all of their shoes from now on in their widest last. The next like is also going to show up in our dislikes, so keep that in mind, but it's going to be the stack height of this shoe. And I think the stack height of this shoe kind of pushes it into a certain category of shoe for us, and I'm going to call it a recovery shoe. So the way that I use this is if I'm putting a lot of volume on way more minimal shoes, think something like a Vibram 5 finger, where we're working with somewhere between 3 and 6 millimeters, and I'm doing a lot of weightlifting, a lot of running, a lot of work at my delivery job in shoes like that. That fatigue is going to build up over time. I'm still transitioning lower and lower and trying to get more comfortable in those lower stack heights. I do pretty well, but I do reach a point where I can feel that I need a break. The next thing I want to say is that I think this shoe looks really good. I thought the Primal 2 looked really fantastic, and you may not have even noticed that I actually switched to the Primal 2. You can tell because we still have that contouring of that arch support in the sole on the Primal 2, but that's almost the only difference between the two of them. They kept the exact same upper pattern and everything. The only thing that has been changed is that lower, which I think also actually makes the Primal 3 look better, but I think these are really good looking shoes. Keying in on that key difference, which is the outsole, the biggest update to the shoe, obviously, considering the upper is almost identical. Again, we have that contouring at the instep for the Primal 2. People didn't like that. We also have a pretty narrow heel, and it's very rounded. The heel on the Primal 3 is still rounded, but it's way flatter at the bottom here. It's wider, so it's got a little bit more surface area and allows for that flatness. We also are completely flat at the instep. There is no contouring anymore, which I appreciate. And overall, the sole is wider in general, which is going to be great for just about everything. If you're running in this thing, if you're trail running, if you're lifting weights, more surface area is almost always going to be a good thing. There's a lot of things that I like about the Primal 3. Those are just a couple of the main ones that stick out for me. Now I'm going to pass things over to Eric to talk to you about his likes for the Primal 3.
Alright, so when it comes to my likes of the Primal 3, the thing that I like most about this shoe is that it is a jack of all trades, but master of none. I think that this is a shoe that you can take with you on a weekend getaway, and it's the only thing that you need to put in your bag, and it's going to have you covered in a ton of different situations. That's exactly what I did with it the first weekend that I got it. Took a little family trip down to Goblin Valley, Utah, and for those couple days that we were there, this was the only shoe that I had. So So it covered me casually when we were going to restaurants and things like that. It covered me when we were walking around the little town there, and it covered me when we were exploring Goblin Valley and I was hiking all over the place, climbing up and down rocks. So I think that its versatility is kind of the name of the game for the Primal 3. If you're looking for a versatile, minimal shoe that can kind of do it all for you, then this is a really good contender for that. I found that the Primal 3 has more volume than a lot of other Lems shoes do as well. When you compare it to something like the Primal Zen, for example, my toes up here in the toe box feel like they've got more room up and down. And that goes pretty much true, not just for comparing it to the Zen, but across the board with a lot of Lems shoes. So I think if you need more volume for your toes up in the toe box, the Primal 3 is going to provide that for you. I also think that this shoe breathes really, really well. So they've made it very light and very airy. This air mesh that they've got and all these different panels does a good job of keeping your feet cool. So this is definitely a great summer shoe as you're using it for all of your various pursuits. And the last like that I'll give about it, I think holds true for all of Lems lineup, and that they are really good transition shoes if you're looking to get into barefoot shoes. So Lems does a good job of balancing comfort and minimal qualities, and they definitely lean more on the comfort side. That's actually something that I'm going to talk about in my dislikes, but with the stack height that this has, it's a really good first barefoot shoe for you. It's going to give you that wide toe box, a zero drop platform, and it's fairly flexible, so it's going to let your foot function the way that it's supposed to, but it's also going to be a comfortable ride for you across the board. If you're a first timer, definitely look at this one. Before I send it back over to Chris to talk about the things that he does not like about the Primal 3, let's talk about some of the affiliates that we have going on with the channel right now. And the first one is Lems Shoes. So we've been fortunate enough to be able to try a ton of the lineup that they have, and we're always pretty impressed with Lems Shoes. We think that for what they are, they last pretty long. They are very, very comfortable shoes in that they give you a little bit more under your foot, but still let your foot function the way that it's supposed to, and they always look really good. This is the Primal 3. I've got here just sitting around the Primal Pursuit, a really cool and really nice trail shoe. So go take a look at their website. There's a link in the description that'll take you there. They've got boots, they've got all these shoes, they've got dress shoes. We really like Lems Shoes.
Are you looking to take your barefoot shoe experience to another level? Then you're going to need a solid pair of toe socks that lets you take advantage of all that toe box. We love Creeper's Toe Socks, a sock that beat out 6 other toe sock brands in a comparison video we did that you can see through the card up in the corner. Whether it's cold or hot, whether you're hiking, running, or lounging, Creeper's Toe Socks will ensure that your feet stay comfy, dry, and healthy. If you're interested in checking out Creepers, head down to the link in the description and use our discount code to save yourself 15% off at checkout. Getting into my dislikes of the Primal 3, I actually want to echo a dislike of our good friend Weston, who had us on his teeny tiny little channel, ROSE Anvil, which is almost to 1 million subscribers. He actually had us come cameo, give our likes and our dislikes in his review of the Primal 3. If you want to see that video, it is linked down in the description to take you over there. But one of the things that Weston doesn't like about this shoe is the lack of use of leather. He's a big leather shoe guy, so that totally makes sense. And while I don't think this shoe necessarily needs to be leather, we already have the Primal Zen in suede. There are some things that I like better about the Primal 3. We'll probably have a toe-to-toe between the Zen and the 3 at some point. I'd actually like to see this shoe come in like a cotton canvas, see Lems lean a little bit more into more natural materials for the Primal 3. The next dislike I want to bring up is the stack height mirroring my like of the stack height in the beginning. The thing I don't like about the stack height is I think it's just too much. Ironically, it's only 1.5 millimeters more than the Primal 2, but my issue with it is that added stack height with the more chunky sole, it does have a bit more material to it. It makes it more rigid. So the ground feel is close-ish between the 2 and the 3. The 2 definitely having more ground feel in the end, but the flexibility difference is massive, which I'll demonstrate for you guys now. I can very easily twist this guy all the way around both directions, and then it rolls up. Great. That's what I want from all of my barefoot shoes. When I get over to the 3, we're a little bit more resistant to that twisting motion. It really doesn't want to do that. And then I can fold it, but I can't quite roll it up. So we went from an 8mm base stack height plus a 4.5mm insole, 12.5 total stack height, to a 9.5mm stack start plus the 4.5mm insole, giving us 14mm. And again, the biggest change for me, the biggest difference that I feel is going to be that lack of flexibility, which does not allow my foot to quite do as much stuff as my foot wants to do. I am once again making a call to Lems for the Primal Minimus, the cotton canvas Primal Minimus. Ooh, it writes itself and it will sell like hotcakes, but something that's more 7-8mm start stack height, 2 or 3mm insole to bring us up to 10 or 11mm overall. Nice flat outsole, natural materials used wherever possible. I would be a huge fan of that, and I think a lot of you would be too. If that's a shoe that you would be interested in, let us know down in the comments section. Now, with my dislikes out of the way, I'm gonna pass things over to Eric to talk about his dislikes.
Okay, when it comes to my dislikes of the Primal 3, let's talk about the outsole. Now, when it comes to barefoot shoes, these companies are trying to make their shoes as light and as flexible as possible. And Lems came up with their proprietary IBR, injection blown rubber, and it just isn't super durable. Every shoe that I have of Lems that has the IBR outsole starts to wear, especially in the heel where I hit, super quickly, and I just wish that they would use a full rubber outsole, especially on their more athletic models like this one, where it's supposed to be kind of like an all-rounder. If it was just a full rubber outsole, you could still keep it flexible by just reducing that stack height, and I think that it would be more durable than what this one is. It also isn't the grippiest outsole, so like I said, this is kind of a jack of all trade, master of none. Yeah, it's gonna be okay hiking for you, like I said, like a weekend getaway to Goblin Valley like what I did, but it is definitely not the grippiest shoe. I wouldn't buy this to be your dedicated hiking shoe, just something that you can get away with if you're looking to only pack one thing. And in that vein of making this thing just a little bit more durable, its brother, the Primal Zen, has a harder layer on the toe and the heel, and I wish that they would do that with the Primal 3 as well. That would give it just a little bit more oomph, a little bit more durability for those hard uses that you might be putting it through. So the last dislike that I'll give here is that they added that stack height from the 2 to the 3. And what I don't like about that is that when you're coming to Lems shoes and you're looking for a barefoot or a minimal shoe experience, the Lems Primal 2 was the most minimal shoe that they had. We're out here looking for a good amount of ground fill and flex, and the Primal 2 was their most flexible shoe, and it provided you with the most ground fill. And then with the 3, they went and added stack height to it to where it's basically the same stack height as the Primal Zen. So I just don't get that. I wish that instead of doing that, they would have taken some stack height from it, to be honest, and it could be their true minimal shoe. Now again, with Lems, they do this really good job of balancing and providing transition shoes for you if you're looking to get into barefoot shoes. So I think that they had that in mind. As they were adding the stack height, they wanted to give it a little bit more comfort. But for those of us who have transitioned into these shoes and our feet are a little bit more durable, I'd love something from Lems that was a little bit more minimal, and so that added stack height wasn't a very welcome addition in my opinion. Back over to Chris now so that he can give us the outro for the video.
Folks, before I give you the outro to the video, I want to give you my final opinion on the Primal 3 and whether or not I would recommend it. I think I would, especially if you're somebody who liked the Primal 2. The Primal 3 is overall better, even with the drawbacks that Eric and I mentioned, with the lack of flexibility compared to it, a little bit more stack height. I think that that new outsole is worth all of those things that you have to give up, and I'm hopeful that with more wear, it will break in over time and become a little bit more flexible. Eric mentioned in the intro that we are doing a giveaway. We're coming up on 2,000 subscribers, and we've had the channel for a year. We started it in April of 2023. So in order to celebrate our progress, we are doing a giveaway with Creepers toe socks. Toe socks is the best way to take your barefoot shoe experience to a whole nother level if you haven't already tried them. We got some regular socks sent to us by companies to try out in the last year, and I never realized how much they squeeze my toes together, and they don't let me take advantage of all the roomy goodness of a toe box like the Primal 3. In order to win yourself a pair of Creeper socks, you need to subscribe here to the YouTube channel, then go follow Creepers and our Instagram pages. The links for those are down in the description. Also, keep an eye out for a post that we're going to be doing with Creepers toe socks in the next week or so. You need to like that post and then comment friends' names. You can comment as many times as you want, and that will count as multiple entries for you in the giveaway. Folks, if you liked this video or you found it helpful, we would appreciate if you would like, share, subscribe, and comment. All those things really help us out with the YouTube algorithm. If you're interested in some more up-close, personal, behind-the-scenes content, or you want to help out the channel financially, head down to the link in the description that will take you over to our Patreon page. There's content that we post there that is not featured anywhere else, and it is only $1 a month to subscribe to our Patreon. Make sure to follow along with us on Instagram. I'm constantly doing unboxing videos on there, so if you want to know what we're working with currently, that's the best place to keep up to date. I also do periodic product spotlights on Instagram. Strava is a really fun social media platform where you can track all of your activity. We track our runs, trail runs, hikes, paddleboarding, weightlifting, all of those things on Strava. And when we track those things, it gives us the opportunity to do little mini reviews of the products that we're using during those activities. Go follow us on Strava and we will follow you back. We're glad you're here. We appreciate your view. And as always, we will catch you in the mountains.